So in this video of drawing and breaking down anime poses, I'm going to be drawing Thorfinn from the series Vinland Saga. I chose this one because there were a lot of different poses, especially with blades and holding weapons and things like that for me to use. So I chose to use this one with Thorfinn. And I started out with the head, typically the same way I normally do my poses. I'm kind of working my way down from that. I wanted to, choose this pose specifically for the foreshortening in the arm. And a lot of people have been asked questions to see more of those, so I threw another one of these in here. So you see me adding in the eyes, dropping in the circles, adding in the neck. And I can kind of go down with it, or I can add pieces of it as I go when I'm trying to figure out the shapes and things like that. And for this one, since I'm trying to figure out how the pose is positioned, especially since he's wearing clothes, and usually that's why when you see a lot of, in drawing schools and things like that, when they're drawing figures that has less clothing on, because it's easy for you to see the anatomy of the figure when you're drawing the figure and finding out the poses and how the arm and things like that relate to each other. But when the character or the person who's posing has clothing on, it's sometimes harder to figure out. But then, easy over time, the more you draw the body parts in those different positions. So right now you see that I started with the shoulder first, and I'm kind of just overlapping all the shapes, where I drew like a half circle for the shoulder, a half circle for the arm, and then like a long half cylinder for the forearm, and I'm kind of working my way up from that. It's kind of an easy way to foreshorten different things. And foreshorten is always done with overlapping. You're overlapping shapes, which causes foreshorten. Like you've seen with the arm there, I'll literally just place 3 different shapes over top of each other, and automatically it just created a foreshortened look of the arm being raised. So right now I'm drawing in the hand gripping the little dagger. So I'm just drawing in each shape. I drew the circles for the knuckles, and I'm just adding in the cylinders for the fingers as I'm going down. And I'm kind of just breaking everything apart and trying to, figure it out, see how everything is placed. Adding the palm of the hand, right where the blade is. I'm kind of just roughing in the shape of the blade just to have it in there, while I add in other parts of the hand. Going down the blade of the dagger. I'm adding in the little back end of the handle. Darken up a little bit more. And adding in the thumb that's pressing up against the top of the handle of the blade. At this point, I kind of have a general idea of where I'm going with it, especially since I already have the head laid out, the arm laid out, the neck and everything. And so it's easy to draw and add in everything else. So, I mean, sometimes you can draw the chest in before you add in all that stuff. But since everything that you draw on this would be traced over anyway with, the details and things like that, you can kind of go in there and just start dropping everything else in, like adding in the chest area as a circle, and then adding in the waist, which is always, for me, kind of like a half circle, which I always add like a little 3D shape at the top. And I'm adding in the other arm for the other side with the hand holding the case of the dagger. And I kind of just roughed out kind of a little light shape to kind of just for me to size out how big the hand would be down there before I start adding in shape, sometimes to kind of have my mind not, because I don't draw the shape out and not have it sized out to how big it is, because sometimes I'll draw the shapes out first, and next thing you know, the hand might be too small or something like that. So I'll size out a little light box area and then start adding in the shapes as I go. I may even do that with the chest also. I mean, it usually depends on the pose I'm doing. And right now I did it the same as the other hand. I kind of just added circles for the knuckles and then kind of just work my way down with the shapes for all the fingers, creating those little cylinders. I always do cylinders for the fingers. It's kind of an easy way to get the fingers down quickly and break it down to know where each of the fingers are positioned and placed. I'm adding that little center line. I always like to add that just for me to know where the abs and everything are. That's it for this video. Want to see more videos like this? Any other posts you want to see? Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. Take care.